with no support or this price with support. And I'm like, what does support mean? He's like, that means you fucking call me, I'm there. You fucking have a question, I answer. You can text me. You can do however you want to communicate with me. I was like, you know what? I like your support better. And you know what? I've texted him like 10 times since February just for simple questions like, hey, where can I get this filter? Should I swap the filter out? And he responds within 10 fucking minutes every single time. And I'm glad I paid the extra money. And we are live, gentlemen. We usually just hang out for a little bit, Thrifty, like we've been doing already for like the first, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and then we'll do the intros and shit once people start coming in. Yo, what up, Steve? How are you, bro? What is? You're a slut, slut. What's up, RPG? Steve, RPG misses you. He says when you're gonna send him a dick pic. And Nelson's been asking about you too. What up, Henry?
Yeah, I thought you guys chased him away.
I didn't chase him away. Steve said he's out. He's done. He's got his own business to build up. That's what he told me.
Oh, really?
No, he didn't say that.
Oh, snoots. What the fuck?
RPG says I don't miss anyone. I'm just sharing our little post here. All right. So Thrifty is driving. He's on call tonight and he's driving back home. Hopefully he makes it nice and safe. But he got a call on a Sunday night. Kind of sucks, but hey, we all got to put food on the table, man.
Hey, I worked a double time today. I just got out of the shower just in time to do this because I had to get my stuff for deer hunting tonight too.
Nelson is sick. He got something from one of his toys, and now he's dealing with the consequences. What? All he had to do was make sure it was clean before he inserted it in, and because he was too lazy, now he's got a cold.
Fever too.
How high's your fever?
I don't know. Haven't looked. I can just tell.
Take the thermostat, shove it up your bunghole. That's the most accurate. Oh shit, he's doing it live, y'all. He's sticking a thermostat up his bunghole.
What, am I on camera?
I don't know. I'll just mess with the people. I don't want to see that shit. You're a fully grown ass man. What is up, Uncle Davey?
Going on?
I'm not going to answer that.
And I'm out.
Well, I'm kind of curious. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm still going to work tomorrow.
What did I just walk into? Like,
you don't want to know. Just you don't.
Nelson, yeah, because he's sick. But Thrifty, I don't know if you can mess with your phone, but do it safely. Share your voice to the party so we can. Yeah, we can hear you, but they can't. Yeah. So safely when you can, safely. What's up, Dave? How are you, man?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for stopping through. We were just shooting our shit before we start the show here, technically.
Hey, that clip I took yesterday got quite a few views. Hopefully I brought some people over to Doom's channel. That shit made me laugh my ass off.
Bro, the whole show was fire. I was there the whole fucking time. Like I don't even know how long it lasted. I think it lasted like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but it was fire show.
Yeah.
Logic, Dave, Retro, Doom, good ass show, man.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was great to get back on with those guys and just have a chat.
hmm
No, it was good to have you were basically holding up the chat on the stream too. So that was good.
Yeah, no, you guys were cool. I was playing, what the fuck? Oh, I was trying to finish up Power Wash Simulator. I finished it, and I was even late to drop it off my son at his mom's house because I was like, if I start driving, I'm not going to be able to chat, and I wasn't able to for like the last 20, 30 minutes or so, but great
That's
show.
all good.
But yeah, we got some
Thank
people
you.
in here
Appreciate it.
already, man. Let's see who we got in the
Good.
house. Well, same people already said. So Steve, Henry, RPG, Thrifty in the chat. Thank you guys. It's gonna be a good night tonight, man. I told the guys earlier the topics. Now that Dave's here, I'll repeat them again one more time. But I really want to stick to gaming. Dave and Doom and Logic and Retro spoke about the financials of Xbox on Saturday with the whole TikTok statement. So we might dabble a little bit into that, but I really want to attack it more from the gamer side. Of course, Dave's welcome to speak on the financials, and I am going to ask him some financial questions about it, but I'm not gonna go that route too much just because so many people have been talking about it. But I also want to ask David a question as a consumer. I mean, I'm also a businessman, but I'm not at the level Dave is, and I want to ask him a question about GTA, and I hopefully he can give us an answer. But we're also going to be talking about physical gaming, and it's going to be interesting because we have our co-host Nelson here today, who has started to do the transition over to physical gaming, and I think it's no better time than now to do that because we are still getting a ton of physical games, and we're still getting high quality physical games. So it's a great moment for that. But I want to get his opinion on how that transition is going and how what are some of the benefits he's been noticing. And one of the things he's going to be doing is, well, we'll get into that. But we're also going to be talking about God of War and the live service game. We got some leaks with some pictures that got put out, and I really want to get the panel's opinion. And we're also going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro and what the responsibility is for developers, for PlayStation, and for us gamers in regards to that. So it should be a fun night, man. A lot of topics. Thrifty is here tonight, but once again, he was on call for work, so he's actually driving back home. So I'm gonna. Oh, okay. So Thrifty just said he's got to get back home to fix his setting. So whenever that is, you guys will hear his voice, but he is here. We can hear him. You guys unfortunately can't because he's doing it over the phone. But welcome to the State of Gaming podcast, man, on this beautiful Sunday. I feel like I got an hour of my life back. Here in the United States, we have daylight savings time, so the time goes back and forth, goes back. It went back last night. It will go forward around March or April, somewhere around there. So I feel like I got an hour back of my time. I feel like I'm in my element. I feel like everything is right in the world right now with the time. We also have Mr. David Faulkner in the house. David, how are you, man?
Doing quite well, thank you. How are you going?
I'm great, dude. I've been playing a ton of games. I just recorded my video where I do all the games that I beat in the previous month. And, man,
Okay.
I got a shit ton of gaming done. But how about you, man? What games you been playing on?
I've finally finished up with Spider-Man 2018.
Let's go.
Yeah, and no, it was good. It's good to get that one finished, and I have now proceeded on to Miles Morales, and we'll see how we go with that one.
You haven't
yeah.
started Miles yet.
I just started it last night. I've done the first, I don't know, hour. I'm enjoying
Did you fight
it.
Rhino
I'm
yet?
enjoying it. Yeah, just finished up Rhino.
That shit was funny.
It was. What am I up to? Oh, I can't remember. I was half falling asleep when I turned it off. I got past Rhino. Peter's left the city, and Miles is. We were doing the piece in the house where the girl shows up and they're doing the dishes and flirting with each other, and yeah.
What are some immediate differences that you've seen versus Miles Morales in 2018 since you're fresh off each?
The music and the ambient sounds are far more better in Miles Morales. The city is sharper, but I don't know. The combat feels like it's going to potentially be a bit more complex in the button inputs. I feel like I'm kind of playing a Tekken game at times with the fighting and the combat, and just trying to remember the different button inputs. But yeah, it feels like it's an improvement. We'll see how we go. The storytelling is going to be interesting, but so far it looks like it's setting up for a decent piece. So I did all the DLCs in the 2018 game as well. So I found them. The story writing in them was across those 3 DLCs was pretty good. So if it's something similar in Miles Morales, I think it'll be pretty good. But enjoying the new characters and getting to know a few new things. And yeah, I think the biggest challenge was going from having all the weapons and all the gadgets and all the bits and pieces to a totally different skill tree and having to basically start again. So my muscle memory was smash these buttons, hit these combinations of button inputs, and you'll annihilate everyone. And I'm smashing away going, why isn't this damn thing working? It's like, oh, you idiot, you haven't unlocked it yet. So
yeah. And also with Miles Morales, you'll notice that it's a much shorter game, but there isn't like I got the platinum in that one. I think it was half the time that I did with Spider-Man 2018. But I agree with you that the DLC, the writing is phenomenal. I mean, I like the writing better in the DLC than I did the regular game.
Oh, me too. I don't know if you heard me on. I can't remember which show it was on. Might have been on Doomsayers, and I think I was on Thrifty's last week. Well, I have been for the last couple of weeks, wherever I am, complaining relentlessly about the story writing in the original part of that game. But that's a me thing. But it is, when last time I was on your show, we were talking about how much the games just wasn't gelling with me at the time. And it was driving me nuts, but I sort of figured it out towards the end. But I'm looking forward to. A lot of people have said they didn't like the first one, but Miles Morales was a major step up. Yeah. So,
and it goes backwards for me. I'm the opposite of Wooly. I like them backwards.
David, not
Plus,
Wooly.
Especially having Mr. Negative as the final, the big bad. I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
Yeah, well, we'll hopefully we get David back.
Mr. Negative?
Hopefully we'll get David back when he's done with Miles Morales, because I really would like to get his opinion on both of them after he plays both. Because I'm the same way as David. Obviously Nelson is a little bit different, but we'll ask Thrifty's opinion. We'll introduce Thrifty when he's able to get home and do his setting things and ask him what games he's been playing, because I'm really interested in what he's been playing and what he's got for us. But here we also have my co-host. Oh, before I get to my co-host, what is up, Hero? Thank you for showing up, man. Mr. Nelson Gaming Culture, how have you been and what games have you been playing? I don't know what you've been playing.
Shit.
I know you've been playing. It starts with a 2-bit.
2-bit? Yeah. That ain't 2-bit.
No, it's not. It looks really good, though. What have you been playing?
Double Dragon Revive. I got the collector's edition. Open that up. It's on my channel if you want to see it.
Yeah.
And then, it was a really cheap collector's. It wasn't one of those grand ones. It was only $20 more than the regular game.
Okay, I need you to stop saying that. I need you to stop saying that, because it's not a cheap collector's edition. It's a collector's edition. The game itself is only $30, so
35, and it was 55.
Yes. Now, if you do the math, these games are $70, where you're spending $200+, and all you're really getting is a statue out of it. So
yeah, I know. I think those are crazy. I won't buy those.
Yeah, I know. Well, they don't even have physical games, and that's where, if you watch my channel, which a lot of you guys do,
physical game too.
Yeah, those are really, really good.
Got the soundtrack. I got the deluxe code, so I get extra characters and stuff like that. Well, you have to beat the game to unlock them, but you get bonus characters. But we've already unlocked 2. I mean, we're probably like halfway through the game because we're an hour and beat 'em ups are not long. They're very replayable games, you know.
Yeah. Well,
They're usually fucking anywhere from 20 minutes to like 2.5 hours tops.
I just opened up my mirror edition of Little Nightmares 3, and that one was $110. And same thing, it's a cheaper collector's edition. But I broke the freaking statue while opening it. It's fixable. I can put some crazy glue on there and put it together, but it just sucks. But yeah, I mean, these smaller indie Little Nightmares is not an indie game, but size wise, it's one of the smaller games, and those guys tend to put physical up on the forefront. You normally get a physical game with it. You're getting the goodies, maybe a statue, stickers, the ODST, physical, digital. So they do a really good job of giving you a complete package where, if you guys remember, I had a big ass rant back in, I think it was February, with Kingdom Come Deliverance 3. I bought the gold edition for $100, and all I got in there was a disc, my codes for the DLCs that obviously weren't released yet, and the warning sticker. That is it. I was so pissed because I'm like, I spent $110 or $100. You can even include a freaking sticker, a fuck you for buying or anything. No, so these smaller indie type games usually come in strong with the physical.
Well, yeah, they're not really indie, but I mean they're one of their, because they break up SNK into like smaller groups. You have the big team that makes their fighting games because like they're making Marvel, the Sony game, fucking Token.
Marvel Tokon, yeah.
Yeah, they're SNK is making that, but they have smaller teams that make like beat 'em ups and remasters and stuff like that. They have 300 people get a lot done there. I'll tell you that.
Well, let's continue on with the physical talk while Thrifty's driving back home, because I want to get his opinion on the other topics like the GTA one, and then of course the Xbox stuff. But as you guys know, I don't read articles here on the channel unless it's some specific data that I want to get right. And today we're gonna go ahead and read a article from Matt Piscatella, because a lot of people assume that Nintendo is the savior of physical gaming, right? And if you've been watching my channel for the last 3-4 months as the Switch 2 has been out, you know that is not true. You know that when I do a Will It Play With No Internet video, if it's a Switch game, more than likely it will not play on the Switch 2, especially if it's a Switch 1, meaning backwards compatibility is not the best. So Matt here has an article titled Circana Analysis. Matt Piscatella says Nintendo's digital shift accelerating with the Switch 2. So it says here, Circana Analysis, Matt Piscatella has provided a new insight into the changing landscape of physical and digital game sales in the United States, suggesting that while Nintendo remains the last major publisher maintaining a strong focus on physical distribution, the company's transition towards digital sale is accelerating with the release of the Switch 2. So right away, I want to call cap. I want to call cap on this fucking article, because Nintendo, it's not the last major publisher maintaining a strong focus on physical distribution. The publisher that gets that title is PlayStation. Every single one of their first party games is available physically for the PS5, and it also runs on the PS4 physically. You can pop it in with no internet and it works. The Switch is not like that at all. At all. And why is that? Well, if you have a Switch 1 game, the Switch 2 always will need an update for the most part. They want you to upgrade, especially if it has the Switch 2 version of the game. It wants you to upgrade the upgraded visuals. Therefore, you cannot run it unless you have internet connection. So they are not the last bastion of physical gaming. It is PlayStation. Continuing on, says, speaking with YouTuber Spawnwave in a recent discussion, Piscatella addressed the broader market divide between physical and digital formats, including speculation on whether the next generation of consoles will move to digital-only hardware. During the conversation, he remarked, I agree with you. I do not think next Xbox will have a disk drive. He also noted uncertainty around future of Sony's approach, stating, Given current attach rates of the PlayStation add-on drive to the digital version of that console, I'm 50-50. That'll happen again. I'm not sure. There are a lot of parts of the world where physical is much more important than, say, in the US, but we are getting there. And that's all I want to read about that. And I want to actually start with David. So, David, there were some numbers that came out not that long ago, maybe earlier this year. Basically, when PlayStation's numbers came out, I think that was around February, March area. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but it was about 1% of their sales were physical software. I don't know if you remember that,
1% of their first party.
of their first party.
As a portion of their total sales.
Yes.
So
So-
that's first parties and third parties.
Yes. So that's a very low percentage point. I mean, we're talking 99% of the rest is other things. But
Yeah.
Well,
But
people-
99% of the rest includes physical third party games.
yes. And the other thing that people don't understand, David, is 1% is still close to $1 billion a year. Is that still
It's
worth
a
it
lot.
for PlayStation to still do physical games?
Absolutely. So for PlayStation's, so you got to sort of take the mix between first and third party. So if we ignore third party for the moment, them doing physical for first party, it is in addition to their digital offering, and the digital store doesn't matter if they sell one or sell all. The digital store still costs what it costs to run the digital store. So doing the physical though is get it to gold, send it on a master disc, run it through the CD printing house, and off they go. And the CD printing house is supporting Sony's own physical disc business unit anyway. So they do all that stuff in-house. Well, they do it in-house through a different part of the business. So, and then once it's printed, it's then the wholesalers and the retailers' problem. So there's actually a lot less cost involved in doing physical for Sony.
I've been told that before.
PlayStation.
Digital games are more expensive.
They are, because they have to run and operate the storefront at the distribution points, and it's not just one. You've got to like however many countries you're selling, and you've got all of that regulation for each individual country that you've got to deal with. Whereas if you're doing retail, and this is why I think physical is missing a trick here. If you're doing retail, physical media, as soon as it's off the printing press and it's in the hands in the warehouse for the wholesalers, it's their problem. Sony or Nintendo, whoever's already got their money, and that's the end of their problem. Then it's the wholesalers, the distribution through shipping, get to the retailers, and then they sell it on from there. And that's where the difference and the disconnect comes from. Fair enough, the platform holders, if they're selling a digital, they have control of it all the way out to the point of distribution to the consumer, but that comes at a cost. And if they wanted to, for parity on selling to the consumer, physical or digital at the moment, there's rules around one should not be significantly cheaper than the other to put another business out of business, right? But physical could quite easily be an offering direct from PlayStation or Nintendo or whoever. You can buy direct from them and just have it shipped on Amazon, and which is what they're trying to do now. And you cut out all that supply chain stuff, and it's actually cheaper for them to a degree, but they still have to wear the cost of the distribution. It used to not be like that, and that's why when they shifted to digital with these libraries and whatnot, yeah, it's faster to get games there, and you don't have to worry about pre-ordering and getting the right amount of wastage and all that sort of stuff. But the trade-off to that is it's just getting more and more and more expensive to have a digital storefront, and that's partly the byproduct of it. So, but in maintaining that, if you're going to have $1 billion worth of revenue come in for something that's only costing you at most $100 million to operate, that's a 9 times return on investment. And you don't have all that distribution cost at the moment, which is, and Nintendo's in the same boat. And anyone that does physical media is in the same boat. As soon as it's off the printing press and it's out the back of the factory, it's somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
So...
Well, David, I'm glad you said that because, people use the argument all the time that it's just 1%, it's just 1%. But I'm over here telling you guys, like, yeah, it's 1%, but we're still talking hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars that, and like you said, if the
What
cost is
percent would
real
be
low,
about 300 million?
I,
So maybe like 30 billion.
actually it's like 900 and something $million,
Then
close
it's
to
more
a
than
billion.
1%. Then it'd be like 3% then, because they
It
made about
was
30 billion. I do
it,
math for a living.
it was it was, I don't remember exactly what it is. I have to pull it up, but I think it was closer to the $900 million between all physical games. Not sure if it's first party, third party, combination of, I don't know. But this was so long ago. But it's still hundreds of millions of dollars that these guys are making, and to just let it go, um, for a digital only storefront, I don't know if that's feasible in any business. What do you think, David? Do you think it's feasible for PlayStation? You just say fuck it, we're just cancel physical, and yeah, we may lose some customers along the way, but that transition will be smooth. What do you think? People who say that.
No, I think there's more elements to it than thinking of it in such a yes or no perspective. And now this is probably contrary to what a lot of people want to believe about these major companies, but Sony has always been happy enough, or put it that way, to allow and support the second-hand markets where they get nothing out of it other than brand recognition. So you think about physical media, what do you do with it? With what we used to do with it? All of us did it. You get your game, you play your game, and then when you needed a bit extra, you'd go and trade it on the next one if you didn't want to hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to buy and resell was a big part of it. And it was a massive part of the PS1, PS2, even PS3 and Xbox One, 360 points, that you were able to buy and sell and trade with GameStop and EB Games and all the rest of them. So there was an inherent value to the physical side of it. Digital, you don't get that at all.
Yeah.
You pay for it and it's done. So, but what also comes with that is you can, with the way that geography works now with geo-locking stuff, if you want to buy a game, if I want to buy a game and I get it digital, I can only get it digital with whatever geographical lock that is allowed on my system. Even if I change, like if I change to say I'm in the US or the UK or Japan or wherever, it will still only give me the Australian version of that game because the IP address tells it where in the world I am. But if I want to get a Japanese version of a JRPG that I want to play, I can buy a physical one from Japan, get it shipped down here, and it'll work. And it used to be, when you had PAL and NTSC, you used to have those issues across the two different versions, so you had to be careful with version control. But it means that the games can get into regions where they don't have the ability to distribute digitally. Parts of Africa, parts of the Middle East, and parts of Asia, particularly in China, where operating a digital storefront is very, very difficult. You can get games in there physically and still get something out of it. It might not be the company getting the first crack of the revenue, but if the games are in there and circulating and the brand is being recognized and there's demand for it, it helps open up new markets, or it helps support current customers that don't have that option. And that's, if you're talking about marginal percentages to be able to develop into new markets that may open up and produce in the future, as long as it's break even or better, it's worth doing.
Yeah.
And they're not losing big dollars on this stuff. But more importantly, it keeps the second-hand market going, because if someone who's never done gaming before walks into a GameStop and says, I want to get into it, but brand new is too expensive, but I can get a pre-owned console and a couple of pre-owned games for, half to two-thirds of what the brand new stuff costs, as soon as they plug it in and turn it on and switch it on and it's hooked up to the net, bang, PlayStation's got another user, and they can get their claws into them and get stuck into them and start milking money out of them.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why they keep that trickle of physical going, because it gets people in. And you'll notice that that's not, for those that have gone full digital, that's not how they get new customers into their. That they do not grow new customers in that same method. Some of the old tried and true pathways of, like if I'm sitting here talking to my son, and I was explaining to him the other day, so you get your money and you get this, you've got games. If you don't want the games, take them down to EB Games and trade them on something else, and instead of paying $70, you're paying $20 or $30.
Yeah.
and that's how you get more customers into your, grow your customer base. Now, yeah, it is on the fringes, but in the current environment, you've got to work on the fringes. That's why they went into PC. They needed the growth in revenue. That's why they're doing this other stuff.
Mm.
But some of these old things they've been doing for eternity, it's the changing of the guard in management makes me nervous about this, though. But they've been doing it since day one, and they continue to support it. And whilst it's making them money, it doesn't matter how much, but while it's making them money and bringing new customers into the brand, they will keep supporting it.
David, you said something there that's beautiful, and I think let me ask you two questions. The first one is, and I know this is a super small percentage, and I mean basically not quantable, right? You can't even calculate this percentage, but how many of you guys chat? How many? And what's up, Josh? What's up, Hero? Jenna? How are you guys? C Fresh, how you doing, bro? How many of you guys have walked into a GameStop, a EB Games, a rummage sale where some people are selling the shit that they don't want in their house out on their front yard, and you pick up a game and that you knew nothing about, and you take it with you because it's only $2, $5, $10, $15, whatever the case may be.
That's how I get all my movies now.
You pop that game in, and you end up falling in love with it. And then what happens next?
I brought home a whole container full of fucking movies the other day.
Yeah,
it was like
that's
$10
a good
for the
steal.
container. I was like, God damn, dude, really?
Fuck yeah,
It's like
I'll
40
take that.
fucking movies. Quarter? Like, what?
Yeah, I love that. I wish I can come across those finds, but now with people hunting, it's hard. But you take that game home, you fall in love with it, and guess what happens? Now you know about the IP. Now you're looking forward to the next iteration of the game, and bam! Now you're there day one for a Ghost, right? Let's say you picked up Ghost of Tsushima on a rummage sale, used game, you didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Now Ghost of Yote comes out, and you're like, oh, this is Ghost. Okay, I played the first one, I loved it. Let me go ahead. So that's the first one, David. Yep. And like you said, and the other part of this is on the fringes, right? So the video game industry, I would say as a whole, is really, really pushing to make more money. And they're figuring out so many different ways on how to make that money, because some of the things they've been trying, whether it's live service, whether it's, subscription services, maybe aren't hitting as well as they thought for some of the console makers. But this physical side, I would say, is part of the fringes. Do you think that with the PS6 coming about in the next couple of years, do you think that is feasible for PlayStation to come out with a console where it has the opportunity for you to attach a physical disc drive, kind of like how you do now? Or is that the bare minimum they'll do? Or do you think they'll actually have something where it's a traditional console with a disc drive already attached to it and there's two SKUs? What do you think will happen with that?
I think they'll go the pathway that they have with the Pro, which is we'll release it as a digital-only baseline, and you can buy a disc drive to plug in if you want it.
Me too.
And I actually don't think that's a bad idea.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
It's a really smart way to not need to run two different SKUs, but it also means that you've got the opportunity there.
You can change your mind too. That's what I've always said.
You can buy it second hand, and you can get a digital one, and then just go and get the disc drive. Or if the disc drive fails, you're not having.
Yeah, I got 3 PS3s right now. I can't. I have all physical on PS3. I can't use them because I can't get a disc drive for it.
Exactly. I think look, it'll be one of those things where you can get the base for this amount, but then you're going to give us $60 or $70 or $80 to get the disc drive, and the disc drive's probably only worth $20.
Yeah.
But it also means that there may be the opportunity, like they did with the SSD expansion ports. It may be that they go, as long as the disc drive can do this, you can have whichever one you want, and here's the minimum specs for it. You can buy ours, or you can buy third party and chance it. And that is beneficial because, again, you can't always get everything in every region that they're trying to push into. It's not like they will operate in parts of Europe, parts of the US, and a few other countries. Sony's trying to jam this thing into markets that they're effectively the only one in, and they're competing against people who've never done gaming as a thing in those markets before. So I think it's likely they'll just go minimize the production costs, one SKU. You can there's a spot to plug in your disk drive if you want to put it in there, or there's a spot to sit it in there. I think it will probably be a lot squarer than what the PS5 is. I
Yeah.
don't think they'll go with that quirky structure, because they should have solved the heating issue further if they're going with this low power option, low power mode stuff that's there. But having said that, the advancements that they've made in thermal dynamics since the original PS5 to what the Pro is working at, the heat sink's 2/3 smaller, and they're not using thermal paste anymore. So they've done a lot of engineering to get it to work.
I can't believe how big that fucking heatsink was at first, and I don't know if you know, I work with metal, so the fucking price of copper back then, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Significant amount of money just in copper.
Well, I was joking that the heatsink was 2/3 of the cost of the damn thing because of how much.
And that's what I was saying. Yeah, it was like $20 a pound of copper in the United States. I was like, how the hell can? But it's better to over-engineer than have problems. Then it costs you billions.
Exactly. But just to cap that off, to go back and then answer your first party question last. When you pointed out that they've got the ability to go and get a game and then get hooked into it, and then all of a sudden they're day one for the next one. The initial engagement with that customer who's going to then front up for day one of a new release in the future costs Sony nothing. It costs them nothing, and that is worth a crap load of money in the end. That's the engagement point. That's the engagement point that Xbox and Microsoft Gaming have failed to capitalize on with their grassroots campaign, with their ambassador program. They had the ability, they had the setup there ready to go. They just didn't have any content to drive it home with.
Well, let me add something to that as well, David. Now, with Sony being more than just video games, they also have their pictures side of the business. They have their music side of the business. Would I be correct in saying, well, it would be beneficial for them to continue with physical because the other sides of their business can benefit from it, right? With the movie side, with the CD side, with the Blu-ray side, is there still any money in there for them to make or help that make it a deciding factor of, because, not just the video game side is benefiting from physical, but also the movie side, the music side, even though how small it is, they can still receive, because we know these consoles since 2002, heck, since the first ones, right? At home entertainment systems where you can play games, you can watch movies, which that will continue still digitally, but the physical side I'm speaking of, do you think that there's still enough there for the other sections or sectors of the business to say, yeah, you should still continue?
I think there is. I mean, it's not like they've been hammering into some pretty hard trading conditions for the last 12 months, but really since 2020, PlayStation has been smashing into some really challenging stuff for various different reasons across various different aspects of their business. There's some of it's self-inflicted and a lot of it is not. But they've gone through a cost-cutting exercise. They've gone through some restructuring work. They've gone through some not downsizing. They've gone through some
rearrangements.
Streamlining, we'll call it that. Yeah, they've gone through some bits and pieces that Jim Ryan really should have done when he took over, but he didn't. Don't know why. It was absolute easy wins there for him, but there'd be a reason for it. But they've just gone and they're coming through the back end of all that. We know what their game releases are to this time next year. They've already told us what they're doing for the next 12 months in terms of first-party output. There's a couple of second-party games that we're waiting to hear on time-wise in that. But you can see the third-party run that's coming through hinged around a couple of major releases. And it's not like they're going backwards. They're still selling consoles no trouble, like at a whim, even in those testing trading conditions. And yeah, they're generating huge amounts of revenue because the pricing's so high, but they haven't had to resort to just heavily discounting the thing to get people to use it. And their user numbers, I shouldn't say the user numbers, the engagements at the moment in people buying new games that are coming through, not just from first party to third party, in the physical realm is still quite high. Every quarter we get their sales figures about how much is digital, how much is physical. they're still going. A quarter of the games that they sell on PlayStation are physical. And if we're talking about 130, 140 something million users worldwide, you're talking about 30 odd million users that are still potentially still buying physical. That's that's almost getting in the realms of more PlayStation gamers buy physical games than there are Game Pass subscribers.
Mm.
It's in that realm there. If you want to put it in terms of size and scalability, that's third party and first party. But if you say that 4% of all games sold are retail based off revenue, 4% of all games sold are retail physical, and 1% of that is first party, you're still talking about a sizable chunk of people. There's millions of people that we're still talking about buying brand new physical games. And that's not even factoring in what the second-hand market is like, because PlayStation's got no vision on that. They can't tell you if a game was brand new when it was put in and played or whether it was second-hand.
Yeah.
I reckon that it'd be mad if they were allowed to actually track that. I would love to see that data, because it would be phenomenal information to have as to how strong your brand is if you've got replayability and transferability across a game. It's physical. If it goes through hands, like they finished it, passed it on, second person, third person, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. If a game goes through 10 people and they play it through to the end and then trade it on to the next one because it holds its value, that'd be mad to know if that's doable or not.
Yeah.
Well, I can't find the article, but I seen something years ago that said The Last of Us 1 had over 60 million players on it. But that was after it had been in PlayStation Plus and secondhand and remastered and all that. So, a little bit of everything.
That's and look, guys, of course I'm a big promoter of physical games. Heck, I built my whole YouTube channel around physical. And real quick, thank you guys so much for all the support. We are close to 2,600 subscribers. That's amazing. Thank you. But as you can tell in my channel, I went from 0 to 2,600 in under a year, because I'm around physical, and there's a lot of physical gamers out there, and everybody's a little different, from whether they just like looking at the art, whether they want preservation, whether they want the game exactly how it came out. There's a lot of different reasons. My favorite reasons are preservation, ownership, and of course, the ability to buy, sell, trade whenever I need. And that is something that I want to ask Nelson about in specific, because Nelson, a little bit ago, started to do the transition from being digital only to physical. And I'll let Nelson explain that whole situation. Nelson, go ahead. Why are you making a transition from being strictly digital to having some physical in your collection?
Because my kids got older. It's really that simple.
Great fucking spiel for a podcast, Nelson.
You bet.
Nelson, let the people know.
I always bought physical until I had kids, and I stopped buying movies physical too, because they fucking get into shit and leave shit everywhere, and then it ends up in the fucking trash, and I got tired of wasting money.
Let the people know, what are some of the benefits you've seen of physical versus digital so far?
I can borrow it to my friend at work who asked me if I had Metal Gear, and I said yeah. I'll try. Fuck, I should grab that soon before. Remind me when we end this podcast. I gotta go put that.
I will, because that is awesome. And doesn't that make you feel like a child? Doesn't that make you feel like back in the day?
Wait a minute, you want to borrow my shit? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, remember when we used to do that as kids? That's what he said too. I was like, yeah. I was like, I thought your wife didn't want you playing games anymore, and he was like, fuck her. And I was like, yeah, baby.
Well, that is the exciting part. I think we have Mr. Thrifty in the house. Are you back in, Thrifty?
I am finally here.
There we go. Thrifty, welcome to the State of Gaming podcast. How have you been? And what games have you been playing lately?
So I am about to wrap up Yotai. I've been good. I'm about to wrap up Yotai. It is one of the best back halves of a story I've ever seen in gaming. I love it. I have immense respect for what they have done with Atsu. They have made her into a character that progresses, that has personality, that's funny. she's really, really well written and really well acted. And like I said, the back half of the game is absolutely amazing. I did almost all the quote-unquote side things after I beat the Kitsune, which was the third, or the second, technically third, of the Yote 6. And at that point, kind of the map just opens. And I did everything. I found I have almost all the trophies. I have almost all of everything. Like, I can't get any more things with my Shamisen. I can't get...
Good job.
I can't find anything else. I have it all. And so, after that, I started just mainlining the story. And I'd stop to do a bounty here and there or whatnot, but, like, I have just been going and going on the story. And so... I can't wait. I'm in the third chapter, and I'm halfway through the first of 2 story sections in the third chapter. So, like, if I had it in me to be able to play that type of a game while being on a podcast, I would be beating it, like, now. But I don't. I'm not that skilled. So instead, I'm going to play the other game that I've been playing, which is Battlefield. I've been playing Battlefield 6. I did the stupid thing and bought the season pass because I'm an idiot. And I can admit these things. It's okay. But no, that's pretty much it. Oh, I played Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Shout out to Nelson for throwing that into the Discords. That's... that game, that demo, I played that damn demo 3 times on Steam already. Because I'm playing as different characters. It's so good. It's so samey. It's the exact same game as Streets of Rage, as TMNT Shredder's Revenge. It's just a different skin with different, like, animations, and I'm like, it's the same thing, but it's so good. It's so good. It's like a warm slice of, like, apple pie with a little bit of vanilla ice cream on top. It's gonna taste the exact same every time, but it's still amazing every time. And that's how I feel about a lot of these games that .emu does. They all have the same type of feel to them, but they all are their own unique experiences.
All beat 'em ups have always been very similar.
Oh, sure. Right, and that's kind of the charm of them, right? Like, I don't have to wonder when I hop into a beat 'em up, am I going to have some complex bullshit system that I have to figure out? No. I'm going to have, like, 2 attack buttons, maybe a jump button. Might be able to dodge, maybe, and then I'm going to have a couple special attacks. Got it. I'm probably going to have some ultimate attack that takes a little bit of life because that's how they balanced it out back then. Like, and so, yeah, ready for that to come out. And then I have still been dabbling into... Oh, shit! I played Foam Stars this weekend because I lost a bet.
How you like that?
How did your slap and tickle stream go?
It was actually really good. We got, like,
I thought the game was
15.
delisted.
We did too.
Fuck.
We thought it was completely shut down, actually. So Josh and I played a few matches. It's actually gotten almost 100 views. So it's like, all right then. Apparently, there's at least 100 people out there who want to watch it. But no, that was a lot of fun. It's actually not a terrible game. If they would have picked up the speed a little bit and spent maybe a few more months on, like, fleshing out some of the other characters, like, the game's okay. It has a story mode.
Which one?
It literally has...
Oh, it's Foam Stars?
Foam Stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
It literally has a story mode. Like, it has a campaign.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Solo. Like, you could... like, I don't understand what... it's just the wrong time. It just came out at the wrong time, and now it's a meme. But no, had a good time playing that. Played Bluey with my kids earlier today. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what I've been playing with my kid? The Plants vs. Zombies. They did a remake for it, and he been playing. That was one of the first games he ever played, but that's actually a pretty dope game.
Plants vs Zombies. Oh, is that a mobile game?
Well, they
Yeah.
have a
No,
mobile.
it's on console.
You know,
My
they got it
son's
everywhere.
everything.
It's an absolute blast.
Yeah, it's a strategy. What
Okay.
is it? A strategy, or what do they call those? Real-time strategy games, I think.
It's like it's an RTS. It's an RTS with action elements in it. So it's not like a turn-based RTS. It's constant RTS, but I don't know. It's kind of like you're just constantly running around whatever the neighborhood is, destroying your enemy, trying to either capture the flag or capture the points or whatever.
Josh
it is.
says wave-based RTS.
Oh,
That's it.
okay.
But
Yeah.
it's like you're running around like a giant flower trying to shoot a fucking Venus flytrap or some mad thing like that. You spit fire and stuff. It's just fun.
Yeah,
Or,
It's just-
Plants vs Zombies or whatever it is. It's good fun.
it's couch co-op, online co-op, so that's cool. But how is Bluey? I'm
Bluey.
interested in Bluey, really, because I've seen it, but I've never seen any gameplay. So what's it like?
Okay, it's basically a big, huge, like, seek and find. That's what it is. So, like, each episode, you go through the house or you go through the playground or whatever location you're in, and the dad or mom will say something like, "Hey, we need to find the living room." And so you go down, you find the living room, and I'll be honest, the amount of crap that's interactive in this world was honestly a little crazy to me. Like, you can go through, you can pick up balls, you can pick up chairs, you can move stuff. Like, one of them, you get like Muffin, who's the little. And guys, I'm sorry, I'm a dad. I know this shit. You can get Muffin, who's the littlest of the siblings, and like Bluey can jump up on a ledge, but Muffin has to go grab a stool, put the stool down, and then she can jump up on the ledge. So like they put a little bit of thought into like the traversal and the way everything's laid out. I was highly surprised. It's really good. My kids can play it together. It's like up to 4-player couch co-op. And so yeah, it's not bad at all.
Nice. Yeah, you've been playing a lot of games, bro. That's tight. Playing games by yourself, playing games with your family, especially with your kids. You know, my dad never played video games with me, so I try to play video games as much as I can with my kid because I don't want to be like my dad in that regard. So that's dope. All those games, shit, even Foam Star sounds interesting.
Okay,
But
so here's the deal. Here's the deal about foam stars. I'm sorry. I'll let y'all get back to the actual like topics at hand. But here's the deal about foam stars. Speed it up just a bit because it was a little slow. And like I said, put a little bit more work into the other characters because the main character, she's actually pretty good. She has a couple special moves that are real good. She's good. She's like a good overall character and an overall whatever it's called operator. So all they had to do was just those things, like act like you gave a shit about the rest of the characters, because the rest of the characters, Josh and I played as like 4 of them, I think, maybe 5, and all the rest of them just sucked. They had no range, or they had no power, or they couldn't move, or it was bad. And so I think that is what probably killed it. And the fact that it does present really, really cringe. Like, you put it on and you're like, I'm a grown ass man playing this game. I feel bad. Like, that's that's just the vibe that I got while loading in. Like, even Josh was like, dude, this game is a trip, isn't it? I was like, yeah, it is. But anyways, I'll stop now.
It wasn't designed for Western audiences. I can say that much.
It was not.
But I mean,
It
that's
was
the thing
not.
about gaming is sometimes there's games that you think are too childish or you're not the audience for it, and you end up enjoying it. And I think that's one of the best parts about gaming is try everything and anything. That's why I always say look for reasons to play a game, stop looking for reasons not to play a game. But just to respond to a couple people in the chat, no, Iron Man, you're gay. Secondly, I do disagree with Thrifty. I think the exact opposite about Yote that he does. I do think that Yote is better than Tsushima in every way except for the story, the character, and also the open world. I think that Tsushima did it better, but we can get into spoilers at a later time because it is a huge game and I don't want to spoil it for people. But yeah, it took me, I think 70 hours. Yeah, 70 hours to beat it. And I'm probably anywhere between 5 and 9 trophies short of getting the platinum, which I
Yeah.
was going to try to get. But as soon as I finished the last mission and I got the ending, I just took the game out, deleted it. I'm like, I'm done with this bullshit. So, but let's continue on. We're talking about physical and digital, and to top it off, before we move on, now that we have Thrifty here, I want to get into the GTA voice actor and what he said. But physical gaming is important for gaming in general. Whether you're a digital or physical gamer, it's important for both. And I support it. I think you should too. I think it's the best way for you for preservation purposes, ownership purposes, and also to bring people into gaming or bring people into a game. Unfortunately, on PlayStation, which the majority of us are, it ain't like I can just say, "Hey, Thrifty, I bought this digital game. It's pretty cool. Here, check it out," and then send him a link so he can play my game. That does not exist. But what does exist is Nelson's coworker says, "Hey, do you have Snake Eater?" Actually, I do. Can I borrow it? Cool. Here you go. And Nate said he borrowed Expedition 33 twice. Those are
Yep.
some of the cool things about physical game that are superficial things, in my opinion, but things that keep giving us that nostalgia and the good feelings that we used to get back in the day. But anything else that you guys want to say about physical games?
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit of a caveat there because as everybody knows, I'm probably more 60/40, leaning more digital than
I still
physical.
buy more digital just because if there's a sale in there, like I'm
The
not spending
sales,
the time
dude.
to wait. Yeah,
The sales, dude. Like I'm looking through the sales right now to
I bought Sun
see.
and Bone for like $8. Like I'm not fucking looking for a disc for $8.
I think I'm about to buy Shadow of War, the Shadow bundle for $7 because I want both of those games. Anyways, so I still do
I
purchase
bought Oregon
physical,
Trail
and
too.
one of the cool things is my brother-in-law lives in Florida. Him and I have shared profiles with each other. So I'm on his PS5, he's on my PS5. I can anything he gets digitally, I can log into his, download it to mine, hop in, and still play it. That's how I play college football right now.
Yeah, if I didn't have kids, I'd only have to buy half as many games 'cause if I had a good
Right.
friend,
And so there
which
is
is still
that
too much
ability.
though.
You can't do it with like multiple people, but if you got one solid homie who likes a lot of sports games and you like a lot of other games, y'all could easily swap. He gets yours, you get his.
That is true. What is that? Game share, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
game share with myself. That's why, like multiplayer games, I won't buy a disc because if I want to play with my kids, I can't.
yeah. And look, I buy digital games too. Like these guys said, there's a ton of digital sales that go on all the freaking time, and PlayStation has been doing really well with these digital sales.
Sun
But
and
my
Bone's $8 right now, by the way.
I bought that day one, bro.
Oregon Trail's $11 too.
Actually,
The
Sun and
remake.
Bone was my highest live stream ever. That was back when my
Why?
channel had like 40 subscribers because it's Sun and Bone, and
Nobody knew
people
what the fuck
were
it was.
well, I wouldn't say people didn't know what it was, but that had to do with it too. I think it was at the time. Well, it's a small developer, right? They're a group of like 3 or 4 brothers that run that studio. They're coming out with Violet. Fuck, I forget the name, but it's something Violet next month. But it's just it gets a lot of traction on social media. They engage a lot, and because their games are a little janky, people want to see what it is before they decide on it. But it reminded me a lot of like a PS2, PS3 era game, and it's just cool to. I beat it. It's cool to just play it and kill some time. But ownership is my biggest reason, and also the I forgot what I was gonna say. But the don't ignore digital gaming 100%. Obviously, there's a lot of great sales that you get there. Take advantage of those. I like to stay under that $10, $15 mark when I'm buying digital. But either way, let's move on to our next topic because GTA is around the corner, man. We're talking May. So we are 6 months away. if they don't delay it or push it anymore, which I don't think they will. But this last week, there was an interview with one of the voice actors of
Fuck!
Grand Theft Auto. His name is not
I
Fuck.
died. Sorry.
It is I forget his name, but he was doing an interview,
Sorry.
and the
He's keeping
question.
this fucking team alive, and I died.
No, that's all right, Nelson. You continue your gaming while we're over here
You
podcasting.
bet. I don't get much free time. Fuck off.
One of the voice actors, the question was asked: Is it worth? Should GTA is $100? That was the question. Do you think Rockstar will go $100 with the game? And he said, well, I don't really know if they'll go that way or not, but if they do, it is worth the $100. Now, I'm so glad that we have David here because I want to ask him a really basic question, in my opinion. David, is the reason that Rockstar investing, I don't know, over $1 billion into this game because they're trying to compete with the market, or is it because that the gamers made this IP so popular that they did make all that money that now they can reinvest it back into the game?
Well, I don't think they had a lot of choice in how much this thing's going to end up costing them. I think it's well above what they originally thought it was going to be, but I don't know about competing with the market. I think this thing's going to go gangbusters. It sort of depends on how much they support GTA 5 leading up to it. If they were serious about, like, don't say serious about it, if they were really wanting to be ruthless, they should probably start saying something in the next month that support for GTA 5 is going to stop, in January in preparation for GTA 6 and just cut it off and pardon the pun, but get them jonesing for something new, because those that are constantly propping this thing in the top 10 games sold in every country in the world, when you cut the content off for them, but give them like 6 to 8 weeks before the next thing comes along, it will, help them to have the money there to get the next thing on day one and boost those sales up, because they'll go chasing that to scratch that itch and see what it is. It depends if the online mode comes with it at launch or if it's 6 to 8 weeks afterwards or whatever. But I don't know if they're chasing the market on it. Like, they've got plenty of grounds, not that they should do it, but they could get away with it, charging $100 for it for the base model. And if they really wanted to get people on there at that price point, just tell them it's $100 for the baseline, and you get a 7 or 10 days early access or something if you pre-order it. Like, that would drive the pre-orders through the roof.
Yeah. Well, David, one more question before I ask Thrifty about this is, with GTA, why would Rockstar invest that much money in the game? It couldn't be done with 300-400 million.
It could have been, but it would have been like GTA 5.2. I think what caused them the issue was when they did an online version. As soon as you have an online thing with constant content updates to get a live service offering, you start to increase the cost of in terms of what's needed for the next game. Like, could you imagine if they tried to do a Fortnite 2? What would they have to do to get a Fortnite 2 going, or something like that? It's quite a sizable chunk of work that they've got to put in massive steps forward. So you've got to be creating some new systems and some new process and all that sort of stuff. But so then that costs time and money, and it's not like they're trying to go for a San Andreas style sort of sub story or something like that. They're going for a whole new setup, get going, brand new story, brand new game. You look at the updates that they're bringing to this thing, it's not just a facelift, it's everything's getting an overhaul. And I feel like they had $400 or $500 million at most was what they were thinking. And then technology advances happen, and then delays happen, and then all this other stuff happens while they're still trying to prop up GTA 5 online. Remember when they launched the PS5, there was the GTA 5, the big update to the new specs with this and that and everything else. And it takes time away from getting the game done, but they've still got to recover that investment. And then they've had the delay for 12 months because they've had the system changes. I'm not sure if you recall way back when they announced it, I can't remember whose show I was on, but I said, oh, they're not delaying 12 months in the wording just because they've got to put a bit more spit and polish on this thing for a day one patch. They've delayed it because there's something ingrained in the systems that needs to be changed, and it's not a quick change. Lo and behold, PSSR4 or FSR4 or whatever the hell it's called, and all that AI upscaling stuff that they've had to build into it to future-proof the game, in all the systems and bits and pieces that are in it. So there's a lot of money tied up in that, and learning how to do it before implementing it. This is going to be one of the first games that comes out brand new with that stuff built in. So there's a lot riding on it. There's a lot invested in it. Are they going to get it back? I don't know. If they're banking on that game to win them back an awful lot of money, they're already starting $3 or $4 billion behind because of all the write-offs and impairments they copped with buying Zing and not Zing, what was it called?
Zynga?
Mobile gaming thing.
Zynga.
Yeah, Zynga.
That was like
Zynga
$12 billion or something. $14 billion.
They've already had to impair $2.5 or $3 billion out of it, and they've done losses the last couple of years. So it's got big dollars to catch back up, and they must be getting to a saturation point on it because you can't keep pouring money into something it'll never get its returns on. So there's a lot of money invested in it, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to be ground up, brand spanking new, rebuilt because they're doing it in a new engine as well. So yeah.
All right, I got one more.
know.
Go ahead, David.
I'll just finish off with it. As much as I appreciate the art and as much as I appreciate the stories and I appreciate the technology and all the effort that goes into making these games, at some point it just gets into the realm of this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I feel like when that game comes out, we're going to see where the thin red line is around ridiculous.
Well, that was going to be the one more question I have for you, but I'm going to save that question till
That's
later.
the only game. Grand Theft Auto is the only game you could spend $1 billion and know you'll make it back in 24 hours, though. Nobody else can do that. Not
I don't
even
know
COD.
about 24 hours.
It'd want to work.
The last one made that in
released
one
it.
day. This one's gonna make
But that's the
$2-3 billion in the first day.
If they release it and it doesn't work, that'll kill the company. Like, this is an all or nothing bet. They need to make sure that thing is working on the day they release it.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's gonna come out when they say it's gonna come out.
I think it needs to. But either way, Thrifty,
I don't think it will.
what about you? So
He's
David,
right. He's right though. Like if it comes out and like it ends up bombing, then they're fucking done as a company. Like,
do you? Well, first off, would you be buying GTA? Secondly, if it is 100, I know we've had this $100 conversation a million times. Would you buy it? And then third, is there any other game you would pay $100 for?
So I'm going to answer those in reverse. No, or yes, there is a game I would pay $100 for. That's easy.
Mass Effect remastered. I don't want to say a new one because they're terrible.
If they found a way to, I would probably pay $200 for this, to be quite honest with you. If they found a way when Final Fantasy VII number 3 remake part trace comes out, if they ship the with a collector's edition that has all 3 titles plus the DLC on disc in an old school case that's set like the old school PlayStation 1 case with the black lettering, the black and white border, all of that, yeah, I would drop everything and buy it immediately. But onto, am I getting GTA 6? No. It's going to have to impress me a lot more than just some fancy graphics. I'm going to have to hear people say that it's actually different than GTA 5. And so if it's just GTA 5 that looks better, great. People are going to have a blast with it. I know I'm the minority. They're going to have an amazing time. It's going to sell millions and millions of copies. But whatever. It looks cool. It looks pretty.
Well, we haven't seen much of it yet, and I agree with Thrifty. I mean, I won't be getting it if it's $100 day one at least. I'll do how I do with any other game that I'm interested in, but I don't want to support it for whatever reason. I'll wait for a pre-owned copy, and then we'll go from there. but I still don't know if that game can get away with $100. I mean,
It
Yeah,
can.
it can.
I just don't think it
200
can.
would be a stretch, but easy, no
I
problem.
just don't think
$100,
it can.
easy. Throw
People
some
drop that on
VC in there.
fucking just the shark cards in a day.
Yeah, I was about to say, throw some VC in there.
Yeah,
Give them
but
an extra
They can
car
make it
paint.
$200 and
The-
throw in
Yeah.
$50 of VC. They'd be good.
But
No
you
Yeah.
guys,
problem.
the amount. But see, the difference is the amount of games that Rockstar needs to sell for this game to be successful and
Mm,
return
The
all that
online's where
money
the
that they're
money's
writing
at.
off is this needs to be a worldwide game, which it is. Can the people living in Mexico, Colombia, in whatever country, can they afford that $100 price tag for a day one game? That's the only reason I'm thinking it may not do as well if it is 100. I mean, we saw a little bit of that at a super minuscule atom-sized level with Outer Worlds 2 this year when they were coming out at 80 and Microsoft went back on that. Um, but I just don't know if it has that. I don't know, David. What do you think with the financials around the world and the economies around the world? What do you think? Is $100 for GTA a sustainable thing for the company or for the consumer in regards
They
to
need-
sales?
I don't know about sustainable, but it's something that, like there's probably 3 games coming that could do that, and this is the front runner by a long shot, like a long way in front. This is the one that could get away with it, and people wouldn't kick a stink about it.
Yeah.
But they've got to give people warning, and they've got to give people an opportunity to be able to buy this. Because if they say it's $100 for the standard, and they say it's day one, there's no early access, it's $100 day one, and we're releasing it on a Thursday, it could do 10, 12 million units over that weekend.
Yeah.
But you've got to give people enough time to have the money there to do it. And it doesn't matter which market it's in. It's going to dominate in the US, the EU, and a couple of Asian markets.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what could
Yeah,
really
yeah,
hurt
but-
them if they didn't say nothing until like a month before.
Yeah, they
Fucking A.
need to be coming out. Like if they're still
6
if it's
months,
still March,
3 months at least.
if it's still March, they've got to be telling us this month. Like they can't wait until February of 4-6 weeks out and say yeah it's $100 because the pre-orders are like the Game Awards should have something there about the pre-order. If there's nothing at the Game Awards about the pre-orders opening up on us this particular time for GTA 6, then yeah I'll back you in all the way 100% that it's going to get delayed again. But they can't be delayed into 2027, otherwise they won't be able to sustain the return or get the return they need. But if it's at $100, just to hit its expectations and cover the losses that that studio is incurring or that company is incurring, and they're banking so much on this happening, it's got to do something like 50 to 60 million units at $100. If you bring it back to being an $80 game, it's going to have to do 100 million units, and that's like pretty quickly.
Mm.
Like this is the realm of this is where it's like, well, we'll just charge more for it up front and see how good we go, and then in 3 months' time, when the sales slow down, we'll drop it back to $70 and see what happens.
I don't know. Most people bought 4 goddamn copies of it, so.
I know, but that's what I mean. They've got to keep the sales cadence up pretty high, and even if it's only meant to hit its expectation of generating $4 billion at $80, it's still got to do 50 million units.
Mm.
Like, think about how many games have done that big a number in history, and these guys are looking at trying to do it in 12 to 18 months. It's not everywhere on day one either. We still don't know what the timing around other platforms outside of PlayStation are.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
that would be crazy if they didn't do PlayStation and PC on day one. That just is a no-brainer. They should be looking at that. But if they're only doing PlayStation day one and it's 3 month timed exclusive, they're going to be looking at maybe 10 million units,
Well,
and that's silly.
is it a possibility that maybe they have this planned out where they're like, okay, for the first, 3 months, 6 months or whatever, we're planning to make, we're not planning to make all our money back. So investors,
The online's where the money's at, but how long is that going to take?
what I mean? Is there a possibility of that happening where they're planning for the money to come in on the long run? and not
Well,
clear the books in day one?
Yeah. Well, that'll be this. If you've gone for a long tail run, you've got to have the online version out within 3 months. If they're not doing online from day one, which would be phenomenally crazy because they wouldn't have any idea how much they're going to do, they'll have a Helldivers 2 issue, same again. They'll have no server capacity and everybody wanting to play it. But they might have sorted that out, who knows? But if that's the issue they're looking at, to get a long tail out of it, they might be able to recover a fair chunk of this out of that GTA 6 online model. And
Yeah, that
once
makes
everyone's
money
played
hand
the
over
base
fist,
game,
or did. It's getting old, obviously.
flick over into that and keep that going, and that might be a transition into GTA 6 being the last GTA, because everything then switches into a live service offering where they can do new single player content missions and all that sort of stuff. But
Fuck, you know why that game sold like 300 goddamn million copies or whatever absurd goddamn number it was? It's because people would buy the game because it come with like $40 of VC and the game would be on sale for $20 and they just throw the goddamn game in the garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't even use it. They just want the VC.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it regardless of why people bought it, they bought it and gave them the money.
Yeah.
And it'll come down to a question of if they expect that the launch window is, say it's a 3-month window, and that's where they're going to do the bulk of it in the first 3 months, is going to do 80% of the game sales, and then we'll flick in the online mode a month or 6 weeks after launch. And then we'll start transitioning people out of the game who bought the game into that, and then anybody who doesn't want to play the actual game itself but just wants to get into online, we'll sell that for $30 or $40 or whatever it is, and then they get another bump, and then it tails off, and it takes them 12, 18 months to get settled through that launch phase, and they've sold 20 million, 25 million units in that first 12 months. That's not a bad starting point, but you're still a long way shy of the 50 million that they're trying to get to, or maybe trying to get to. Or they might have just said, fuck it, we'll just wear the losses, and if we sell 25 million units in 3 years, that'll do, because they've got other things they need to focus on. But it seems really difficult to get that past the board to say, well, we bought Zynga, we've got to eat $2.5 billion worth of impairments on that, which means the shareholders aren't getting any money. And for 3 years straight, the earnings per shareholder has gone negative. And then you're going to launch this and then potentially bite down another $1 billion worth of R&D cost and investment cost written off because we can't generate the returns we need. I don't think it's going to go over very well. And Strauss is going to be in big trouble if this thing doesn't perform. And that's why it's there day one. It has to be working.
If that ends up like Cyberpunk, they're fucking in deep shit.
If it comes out even close to smelling like yellow, it's dead. And it will cause it. And I say kill the company. Yeah, they've got NBA 2K and a few other games. The amount of impact it would have, you would have heads rolling left, right, and center, and that company would go into free fall. And what comes out the other end is probably two, maybe three studio closures, and the thing is done. You'll never see another one.
Well, let me
bet big on this.
Let me ask you a question to the panel. Whatever happened to, or maybe they are, maybe I'm not seeing it, but here, just a question for you guys. We'll start with Thrifty. Thrifty, some of these studios like Rockstar, I don't know, Naughty Dog, they have a value to them, meaning that when gamers find out that they're making a game, some of them will say, oh, that's an automatic day one because it's a Naughty Dog game, or it's a Rockstar game, or it's whoever. Leverage. Why won't some of these studios use that leverage and maybe stop looking for that big hit every single time and maybe come out with some other projects at a little bit faster rate and use some of that leverage with their name to get some sales going instead of having it be either it's a grand slam or not kind of situation? Why do you think that's not feasible? That's a stupid question. Explain it to me.
Well, so I think I understand your question. why don't they do smaller titles
'Cause nobody
based
buys
off
the
of
shit.
their
Well, think about it.
based
You
off of
know,
their pedigree, right?
if a company is worth
that's
$1 billion,
essentially the question,
well, if a company's worth $1
Right,
billion,
so
but they don't have that money because it's tied up in all these investments, they still have leverage with the name. Why aren't they using it
sure.
more?
So like
They used to
good
make small
example,
games. They didn't sell.
Insomniac, right? Like
Yeah.
if Insomniac Studios makes a game, I'm probably gonna play it. Like I don't know what the game is. I don't care what projects they're working on. I will probably give them a shot. Why? Because it's Insomniac. We have studios like that all the time. That's the reason why Cyberpunk did so well, even like though it was a complete broken mess. But CD Projekt Red had clout. They have name recognition, so they can drop that out there, and folks were like, "Well, it's CDPR, we'll take it," and then it sucked. Like then they had to fix it, and they did everything. They did the right thing. They did what they had to do, but like that's why it sold well at launch, even though it was a buggy mess. So why other studios don't do that is the question, or should they do that? I think yes, they should. I think no, they won't, because Nelson is right. That people aren't going to buy an HD 2D God of War, not to the level that they would have to invest into it to actually get it
Insomniac
done.
didn't have anything sell really good until Spider-Man. They made money, but it was chump change. It was fucking. It wasn't worth buying them. That's what I mean.
It's the reason why Ratchet and Clank got shelved, because even though it's a great IP and it made them money and it did its job, they can make
didn't move
more
the needle.
money in Spider-Man. They can make more money with Wolverine. So, and maybe PlayStation's a bad example because they do the AAA high budget games pretty damn well. Maybe a Ubisoft. Why does Ubisoft have to spend $300 million
$300 million on a Assassin's Creed and still shit
on Assassin's Creed? Hey, don't steal my talking point, Nelson. Don't you can't.
Sorry, I've just seen how many people work in that studio, and they have 6 huge teams, and I'm like, and this is the best you can come up with? I could have made 5 Ghost of Tsushimas for that. What the fuck?
And they tried to do a 2D side scroller with Prince of Persia IP, and the game wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It was a serviceable title. It was decent. And what did they do with it? Nothing. It didn't hit the numbers they needed, and they stopped. They just all marketing was gone, and it just floundered. So I think in hang on. I think in an idealistic world, yes.
And that's why they shut Japan studio down. They wanted to make AAA games because these AA games, they were getting a couple $100,000 off of them, and they're like, we want you to make a big game that's going to make some money. And they said no, so they said, okay, shut down then.
Right, Japan Studios said, well, fine, and PlayStation said, well, fine. And that was it. Like, heck, Will, when you and I've actually talked on my show about that whole incident when it went down, like, hey, at least the dude stood on his passion, stood on his principles, and was like, hey,
yeah, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But you can find someone smaller to work for where you don't have as much overhead, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And we got shitty ass Slitterhead, but
that's the challenge though. Is that it's
like SNK ain't gonna make much out of those beat 'em ups, but they're a small company. They don't have massive overhead.
Yeah, but they can stand on principles, they can stand on what they believe, but if you're not standing on a pile of cash to back it, are you standing on nothing?
Well, I guess restaurants have hors d'oeuvres all the time. Why the fuck don't... I mean, we hear all the time. I mean, look at one of the best games this year, Silksong. Well, you think that game cost $200 million to make?
No, but how many
there's
years
like 14,000 indie games a year, and that's the only one that's.
Yeah, but you're talking about extremes. See, you're doing extremes. You're saying, well, now you want Sony to do a Silksong size game and have no marketing behind it and just put it out and hopefully it sells 100,000 copies. No, that's not what I'm talking about. There's always in betweens, and there's circumstances, right? I'm not saying Ubisoft goes ahead and make a freaking $10 mobile game, and I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying, with the amount of resources, the amount of leverage, and this is an ongoing discussion that we have almost every week, and it's always the same fucking answers. But we're looking at extremes here on both sides. I'm not telling Rockstar to make a freaking, indie type title. No, I'm just saying there's something in between there that they can do to help some of this money come in instead of saying, well, we're either going to spend $250 million or we spend nothing. Like, I just feel like there's more to it than just that. So whoever wants to attack that can.
Yeah, I mean, it was touched on just before. The biggest issue is the overheads. And
that's what I was going to say, yeah.
You pretty much put it in your synopsis just then, Will, they've got all these resources. Well, the resources cost a shitload of money. It's not just the wages you're paying the developers. It's all the technology that goes with it. It's all the licensing stuff that goes with it. It's all the other crap that goes along with doing it. And when you've got a corporate as big as Ubisoft is, I mean, it's 22,000 employees and it's global. And it's got huge amounts of regulation that needs to be done on the corporate level. The studios underneath it can't sustain it with small games. That's where this bet big, pay off big stuff happens. That's why PlayStation got away from doing it. They saw it early. They knew it was going to happen. PlayStation is the main cash cow of Sony, and they are wearing the biggest chunk of that corporate overhead. Xbox is in completely the opposite end. They're not the big cash cow for Microsoft. They don't have to contribute 4/5 of nothing to the corporate overhead that is Microsoft. They've just got to basically stay out of the way and stay quiet. Where Ubisoft, EA had the same problem. Who's the other big one? Take-Two, we were just talking about them. They've got a pretty decent overhead that they've got to cover. And remember that they used to have all these big tier 2 publishing houses. ABK had the same thing. They were going backwards in a hurry because they couldn't sustain their overhead. And Call of Duty was basically propping them up with World of Warcraft and Candy Crush. Most of their revenue came from 3 titles. 80% of their revenue came from 3 titles. And they couldn't pivot to small stuff because they couldn't afford to remove the resources from that revenue stream. But where currently the market sits, and again, Nelson touched on it when he made the comment, there's 14,000 indie games come through, and Silksong's a great example. It's 7 years to build a sequel at their pace to get something out that they wanted to put out, and the market was happy to wait for it because they got what they wanted, which was a brilliant small indie game, and it cost them 4/5 to nothing to make, but they're making big dollars out of the back end of that. They don't have an overhead. They don't have a big corporate juggernaut sitting there.
It's like 4 guys living in an apartment together, you know what I mean? Like,
pretty much. But that's like Claire Obscurian. That was, again, it's a small team with a good publisher that understands what they're trying to achieve, that gave them an adequate amount of funding. It didn't give them a huge amount of funding, but it gave them an adequate amount of funding to get the job done.
That's the same thing with something like Stellar Blade too, though.
Yeah, they chip in direct. This is why I love the partnership arrangements that they do. A publisher goes.
It's more cost effective.
Direct fund the game and then produce the game, and out it comes. And you don't have to worry about studios being acquired. Any studio that puts its hand up to be acquired by Sony or Microsoft at the moment is asking to be killed. And it was this case when they started this stupid consolidation war back then anyway. You don't want to be owned by a major publisher because the overheads will destroy you if you're a small studio. You need to have a good bargaining position with a decent game idea to be able to get the funding, or go to a private investment equity firm. And that's like they had these indie publishing houses created in EA and Take-Two and ABK and all that. They've shut them down since because it's just easier to not have that, again, that overhead payback that needs to be done. So, but that's the challenge, is why these big, heavily resourced organizations to pivot into short, small indie style and AA style games, it just the payback is not there. It's not enough, and it pains me to say that because from a financial perspective, it will never be enough. They can't sustain it. But partnership arrangements.
That's why they go get those partnerships in China and all that stuff like that. It's cost effective, and you're getting games to your system. That's all that really matters in the end of gamers. Anyhow,
that's the whole point of China Hero Project, is to
be more cost effective with getting
it's really good PR,
titles.
But like also they get to have the game like Lulan, The Cursed Sand. That's a game that is coming out. It's a China Hero Project game coming out next year.
Oh, that looks titties.
It is so good. I can't wait.
I put that in your Discord. That fucking looks so good. I was watching that at work, I walked around with a chubby for like 15 minutes after that.
This looks awesome, but it's just all that PlayStation did was put out some funding to this studio, and then they get it. And if it's good, wonderful. If it's not, you get Lost Soul aside. But even that, PlayStation didn't have.
Cost a couple $1 million, and oh
right.
well, if we hit
tried.
on 1 out of 3, we'll be all right. You know what I mean?
And so I think that's where PlayStation understands its strengths and weaknesses, and I think it's easier for them because they have the platform as well.
Uh-oh. We lost it.
I think it's overhead, man. They need that money. They need it now, and they can't take chances.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them. I really don't. They did this to themselves. I mean, these fuckers, have one great game, and now they want to take all that money and fucking hire 400 more people. Ambitious, fucking give ridiculous. They, they just did it to them fucking selves, and I don't feel bad for them at all. Now, it's one thing. Anybody that's in this position.
You're just talking about hiring 400. Like you just came up with a random number about a random. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Yeah, because you don't pay attention. But Thrifty knows exactly what I'm talking about.
People. You weren't talking about a studio or a publisher.
No. He was saying basically if a publisher, Ubisoft, Take-Two, EA, one of these big bastards, decide to hire 400 people and do all this other crap, but then they can't get games out. Like that's what he's talking about. He was just making a generalized statement in that realm related to those big, massive ass publishers, like Embracer Group. They piss on them. They took Deus Ex, and they can't give it back.
Fucking
Fuck
they got almost as many studios as Microsoft and fucking.
And what have they done with
almost as many? Yeah, not much.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Amazon. Amazon has Tomb Raider and nothing. 9,000, 14,000 employees or something like that just got canned from there.
Yep.
And they took a big risk on a big game. When instead they could have started small. I think it's different.
Yeah, you don't already have that overhead. You can
right. Their gaming division wasn't sitting there they weren't looking at them and going, "Hey, we need 30% profit margin from y'all." No, they were like, "Hey, listen, guys."
Like Microsoft, why don't we try to get a big game out ourselves for the first time in fucking a decade, instead of going and buying the largest fucking publisher in the world. And see if we can actually do it first. I don't know.
But when you have these studios or these publishers that decide to just gobble up everything and then do nothing with it and have already had established IP in the industry, I think it's harder for those guys to go and make the smaller games than it is for a company like Amazon to come in and go, "Hey, we're going to open up this and we're going to make," or THQ Nordic is a great example.
Yeah.
They reinvented themselves and they
are
just focusing on small ass titles. Yeah, Devolver.
Yeah, they're starting to get bigger titles now, but they started out with just a bunch of random indie shit, making, a couple $1 million a year basically.
But it's so easy for those guys because that's where they started. Yep. They started super small. We're asking these guys that have
they don't have a lot of bills.
Massive buildings, massive overhead, massive investment firms with them, deep pockets behind them.
Yeah, we got 20,000 or 5, 10, 15,000 employees. Like, we had an indie game sell 1 million copies at $25. We got $20 million. Ooh, I'm like, hey, that'll keep our studios open for another 48 hours. Thanks, buddy.
So I kind of understand what Nelson's been saying.
But Nelson's a fucking retard because obviously you're not gonna have a fucking game or a publisher like Rockstar fucking make sell a game for $20, right? But there are studios out there.
Indie game for $70. So
look at Marathon, look at Bungie right now. PlayStation gave them $1.5 or $1.2 billion for retention, right? What have they done with it? They've laid off people. Now, there's some business stuff to that behind the scenes, but they're now not making any money with Destiny. Last week, we talked about how Destiny is basically looking at the lowest numbers they've ever had. They're not making any money. Now they got
It's as old
Marathon.
as it's ever
There's
been.
no hype.
It's made like $2 billion. They should have. I mean, they bought them at a bad time. It's like when a game's that old, like other than like Fortnite, you're not gonna live forever. Like you gotta come up with something else. That's why I
PlayStation didn't
think-
buy them for Destiny. PlayStation bought them for the expertise and for the people, not for the fucking game. They had this 10-year life service
That
plan.
fucking backfired.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's the what we? Yeah, that did. But there was different reasons that they bought the studio, not specifically for Destiny. They bought them for all the other shit I just mentioned. But when you have a smaller studio like, I don't know, Naughty Dog or freaking Sucker Punch, where they can't take a team of 5, 10 people, throw them to the side, said, hey, here's $500,000, go start something, see what we can do, and then they make something in a couple years, and it's small, put it out there for 15, $20, and they make 10, $15 million off of it. That's a nice cash injection to something they didn't have before.
He didn't
when-
listen to a goddamn word David said, did he?
Nope.
Not a goddamn word.
When I am selling an item in my store and I'm giving a customer a discount, if I'm making $50 profit on this item, then yeah, I'll go ahead and discount the other item. I'll lose $20 on it because I'm still making $30 on the overall sale. I just don't understand why. And once
We
again,
know.
I'm not
We've
talking
been
about the
told.
Ubisoft. I'm not talking about the Rockstar. I'm talking about your smaller studios out there that are struggling. Why they can't do things besides
They
always
don't
trying to
have-
go for the home run.
They don't have the flexibility because the publishers time in their arrangements that means the publisher gets their money back first, or whoever's funding it
Yes.
gets their money back first.
Yes. Yes.
the
Well, that's
shitty
why.
thing, so-
That's why I always bring up Double Fine, because we saw in their little YouTube series, we saw their transition from them being independent to going out shopping their game, trying to get a deal done, and they ended up selling to Microsoft. And you see that conversation. And what happens when Matt Booty comes in to meet the team the first time? If you make a game outside on your own time, it belongs to Microsoft. If you're working outside of it, doesn't matter if you're working at home, it belongs to Microsoft. And he goes in there and basically saying, "We own your ass, and you're gonna do
They
exactly
do.
as we say we do." That's the point that I'm making, Nelson. They fucking own them.
Yeah. You know why that was so significant? Because you know the guy that owns and runs Double Fine, him and Greg Rice from PlayStation, I can't remember who the other two people are. They basically run the non-for-profit Day of the Devs, right?
Yeah.
And it's a big indie thing. You know why they haven't shut down? Microsoft has not shut down that studio yet.
Why not?
Because of the connections.
Because the connections. But if he walks, they will lose the entire indie scene from doing anything on Microsoft.
Yeah.
It will just
That's smart
slam
on their
that door
part, because
shut.
I would have shut that goddamn studio down years ago, because it don't make no goddamn money.
But you
They're
know why
world-renowned
he
games,
won't-
but
yeah.
all their
You know why
games
he
have
won't walk?
failed, like all of them.
Oh, they're indie games. As an indie game, they work fine. But you know why he won't walk is because Microsoft knows this, and Matt Booty fucked up big time with that comment. But Microsoft know how important he is to getting indie games into their platform, and they pay him a stupid amount of money just to stay there.
Yeah,
And
just
he
for
can
the
do whatever
connection.
he likes.
So
He can do whatever he likes. He can make Keeper, and they don't promote it, and he's happy because he's doing what he wants with a small team. But yeah, if he if they shut it down and he walked, guess where he'd walk? Where do you think the first place he'd go to would be?
Yep. Well, David, if they can
Just to
expend,
piss them off.
if that can
Just
be
to piss him off.
if that can be an expense for Microsoft, why can't something like that on a super smaller scale that's affordable for the studio also be done in other aspects? I mean, there are things that don't make any money, but you still have them because they represent a lot more than just black and white. Just are we above the line, below the line? And you know this as a business person, right? There's numerous things that you keep around, that you keep the lights on, just because you're getting more value out of it than just I'm making a sale on it.
I worked for an oil and gas company once where they paid a guy $10 million a year salary just to sit at home so that he wouldn't compete against them.
Yeah.
It's
Are they
these
hiring?
things that happen that make no sense to most other people, but that's what it was worth for him to not go into business and compete against them. He was happy with that $10 million a year for the rest of his life to sit at home.
Well, what's the
Because
saying?
It would have cost him $100 million a year in revenue for him to compete against them for the amount of work they would have lost.
Well, David, what's the saying? It's
Like
cheaper
that.
to keep them than to leave them. I mean, we see this with divorce all the time.
Yeah.
How many people are in unhappy marriages because it's just cheaper to deal with it and pay for it in another way than to just break up and lose half your shit? We see it all the time, but all of a sudden in gaming is a terrible idea.
Well, that's why people get promoted instead of sacked.
That's Microsoft. Microsoft. Before
sorry, I was just going to wrap up on that point. There's plenty of opportunities out there now for funding. Like you said before, you get a bit of funding to develop an idea and you get it to a point, then you bring it back and you get a bit more and you get a bit more and you get a bit more. And there's plenty of funding available at the low and middle, at the bottom and middle for indie small teams to get in and do stuff. Getting access to Unreal Engine 5 is easy. Getting people who know how to use it, easy. If you don't want to do all the bespoke stuff and just use a heap of stuff that's off the shelf, different art styles and whatnot, like, it's not difficult for teams to get in and use the tools. The tools are lowering the access of entry so much, and they're cheap to get to. If you can get a good publishing deal or get a publisher that treats you respectfully and it isn't trying to rip your new one, you can get away with some pretty cool ideas and get them out there. And if you pick the right platform and pitch the right idea at the right time, you can get it out on PlayStation and Steam and others and get noticed and generate all right. And if you've only spent a couple of $1 million to build it in total, or if someone's invested a couple of $1 million in you to do the work in total and you're not putting your own house on the line for it, then it sells 10,000 copies at $50. It's doing all right.
Yeah.
That's not the worst thing in the world, but it gets you starting and gets you going. If you manage to snag one and it goes gangbusters and it was a couple of $1 million to, like, Dave the Diver is a great example. That thing costs nothing to make. And it's got the simplest gameplay loop in it. And it's sold millions of copies. And it's made them millions of dollars. And it's got tie-ins and all that sort of stuff. All because some guy just had an idea and happened to talk to the right person. And bang, off it goes. And it's a four-man team that originally put that thing together in its concept. And you don't have to have a finished game to take to market when you go and pitch the idea either. So, and you might end up getting more funding. Look, it's again, Stellar Blade's a great example. That thing started as an idea. They built it as far as they could get funding to do it, and then they needed help. And when they got help, they got a lot of help, and it refined it and made it better, and then bang, look where it is.
Yeah. It's annoying, man. I'll tell you that. I was gonna get into. Well, let's just finish off with Microsoft real quick. I know Nelson's fucking the only time he gets active is whenever he can shit on Microsoft. So, real quick, Thrifty, have you seen what's been happening?
Shit, you must be having internet problems.
Yeah, it could be. Have you seen what's been happening with Microsoft with them saying that their competition is TikTok?
Yes.
Okay. I've been listening to a lot of people talk about this over the last week. Let the people know here in the chat, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. What do you think Microsoft means by that?
It means they're stupid. No, actually, so I have two kids. I have the people who the defenders of that statement say he's talking about. He's meaning, or what one side says that he's saying he means, if y'all could follow that shit, is that it's competing for your kids' time, or the next generation of gamers' time. And because the next generation of gamer is only on TikTok, Instagram, Reels, Face Stories, whatever those hell things they're called, like whatnot, like because of all of that, they only like short form content, and they're not going to be into gaming.
Yeah.
And they
You know
said
what's
they
great
have
about kids,
data.
though? They grow up.
No shit. Also, not only that, they said they have data to back this up, which I'm wondering, are they using gaming data in general, or
Probably
are they just
not.
using their data? Because if they're just using
Probably.
their data, you have to start making great games for people to want to play your shit in the first place,
Yeah.
and TikTok doesn't help or hurt that. But the other side of it is, my kids, if it's a good game, they don't give a shit about TikTok.
Yep.
My youngest has beat Sword of the Sea like 7 fucking times. And I'm not kidding. He literally sits down in a morning and then has it beat by fucking lunch. He loves the game. He loves going back to it.
Marcus has beaten Final Fantasy VII Remake like 7 times, or like 4 or 5 times.
Great games will always grab the attention. Always. I have 80 hours in Ghost of Yotai.
Something
And
I.
so,
Go ahead, Ray. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. So, when you tell me that your competition is TikTok, that sounds good as a talking point, and logically, somebody could see exactly what you're trying to say, and they'll look at you and go, "Huh, you know what? That kind of makes sense," especially if they don't know the market. Like, that's why when somebody interviews a Matt Booty or he says something, that the interviewer's like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like, fuck it, great. These guys apparently know the market. This guy is an expert. Yeah, that makes sense. I can understand where you're coming from. The problem is every company. It's like when they say the industry is changing, so we have to change with it. When the only people who are trying to change is them. And
Yeah.
the industry's fine. The industry's dying apparently, so they have to go and move with the ebbs. No, they're dying. The industry is doing pretty damn well. Even PlayStation, whose nuts I rode for the last 18 months, actually are coming out of their little slump that they were in. Next year is going to be a banger year for PlayStation.
You know,
And
Thrifty,
so,
something I told on Doom's channel, I said on Doom's channel on his podcast is Microsoft is just making shit up. What are they going to say next? They're competing with McDonald's?
You know what? You know why? You know why they really said that? They're running out of fucking excuses.
Yes.
Seriously. I'm not even being sarcastic. They're running out of fucking shit to tell, the boss mans.
Yeah. It's pretty
He's
bad.
laughing. I can hear it.
Because and that's true though. Y'all talked about failing upwards and getting promoted when you suck and all this other stuff. That has to be Microsoft's MO with how they've hired these people and how they've promoted these people. The problem is Amy Hood is actually really smart, and she is doing something that is going to accomplish the goal that has been set out for at least the past 4 years. And that has been the devolution and dissolving of Xbox Console Corporation as a thing. It is going to be transferred over into Game Pass, and then blah blah blah. And they think, which is really funny. So they should be tickled fucking pink. And I just thought of this. Sorry, I'm pacing, so all my juices are flowing now. I just thought of this a few weeks ago. Or maybe it was a couple months ago, Microsoft came out and said that they had no, it wasn't Microsoft. It was that study that came out that showed gamers who game on Xbox play more games, but they play more games for fewer amounts of time. So
really, it's Game Pass is your real problem.
So
you know what I'm saying? That actually, I never thought of that. You just connected some fucking dots right now.
Hey, listen, it just came to me. This was not
that's
planned.
You're on
point. So they're accomplishing their goal, and from the data that they're seeing, absolutely, they are seeing their shit as, hey, we're competing with short form content. These people don't stay in our games for more than 20 minutes.
That's because they're just trying shit out in Game Pass. God damn it! I don't want to play that shit.
No, and so it goes back to what Phil Spencer said in that infamous interview. Now, if you just make great games,
which
There's
one?
A lot of them.
It's the great games one. If you just make great games, it does matter. It's always mattered. It pisses me off so bad.
It's the one thing he can't do. He can't fucking get games out the door.
No.
They've bought 2 publishing companies. They still can't fucking do it.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They got a lot of
remember
games out this year, but most of them were well in development long before they were purchased. So
everything that they've ever put, well, not everything, but the majority of the
everything but Forza.
games.
Hey, Hey, we needed to make a correction from last week. Thank you, Laura Fryer, for letting us know. I said, well, they've made Forza and they made Microsoft Flight Sim. I was incorrect. They bought Flight Sim too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No way.
Yes,
they bought
did.
Flight Sim?
Yeah, they did.
I thought that was their one original.
No,
No.
Whoops.
they
So
bought
nothing. Well, Forza,
Damn.
right? Forza's the only one
Forza.
they've made.
Which you know how Forza was made? They saw Gran Turismo sell the most units on PlayStation. They said make that.
Well, David said on Saturday on Doom's podcast that, and he made a very good point that Gran Turismo is PlayStation. David, what you
Oh,
say
yeah.
about? Go ahead, repeat that. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Of Gran Turismo, that game was there on day one, and it's the only one that's still there.
Yeah, the only
Gran Turismo
freaking
sold
one.
100 million units. I mean, think about it this way: Gran Turismo 1 and 2 were like the two of the top three best-selling games on PS1. Gran Turismo 3 was the 3 and 4 were the second and third best-selling games on the PS2. I mean, only a few of them.
Six closed out. So 6 got to close out the PS3 after the PS4 launched, and they've then they did Sport for the PS4. That was the only Gran Turismo title released on PS4. And then we got GT7 for PS5, and it's done stupid numbers, but it's got a player base that just love it. Like, if you want to hear me and others just gush about gaming on whatever, Retro and I can go for days about Gran Turismo. Like, you will not find any bigger fanboys than
Put
us.
it this way. Think about it this way. Gran Turismo 3 and 4 sold more units than GTA 3 or Vice City.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's just
But it's crazy to think though that
Only
it gets
San
so
Andreas
much
sold more than 3 and 4.
shit. Yeah. It gets so much shit, and yet it's still there, and it's still got a loyal player.
It's estimated to have sold 14 million copies so far this gen too. That's fucking insane. It's a racing game.
well. Remember when
and it's a live service game.
David? Remember
gets-
the beginning of the gen when they were making or talking shit about GT7 because of the microtransaction problem, which wasn't even really a fucking problem. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
there's nothing
toxic left,
new.
right, and center.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, even
it
that
was-
drove me nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Anyway.
And PlayStation. And that's another question. Why doesn't PlayStation do more of what they do with Gran Turismo? I mean, they're on this live service kick, and they have the formula right there. Why do you think? Is it because it's cars? It works so well.
Probably. I mean, I play every day and I still don't have all the cars, so if I was rich, I could see someone doing it. But I like to grind. That's the whole point of Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I don't know why
Defeats the purpose of playing the game
PlayStation.
for me.
I don't know why PlayStation won't do more of live service games that way. I mean, it has a little bit of everything. It's got the single player stuff with the cafe, which I absolutely loved and I finished. They got your
Well, you
live
know what's
service
funny?
aspect to
Helldivers
it.
is the same way. You can get all the super credits and stuff you want by playing the game, and it's not ridiculous amount, but people take shortcuts and buy shit because they just don't have the time or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
But that's the benefit of it, and they applied that in so many different games since, in just different ways of doing it. You can grind it if you want to. Helldivers heard this issue. You can grind it if you want to, but you don't have to grind it if you just want to pay for it. And that is an option that is available. It doesn't make it scummy business practice. We're not talking about loot boxes here.
yeah, gambling.
It's just, hey, if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, here it is. If you want to just
That's what I'm
access
doing.
it right now, there it is. And the reasoning behind it with Gran Turismo was there were daily races that, because you get the prize cars and it's not always guaranteed you're going to get it, but they wanted to run daily races and the national and international competitions that they do with specific vehicles, and you couldn't always guarantee that people were going to win those vehicles. So they made them purchasable. But if there was going to be a vehicle for a national or an international challenge as part of that program, it was cheap as shit to get it, like $2 or $5 or something like that, if you had to buy it to compete, if you didn't already have it. But by the time people got to that point, most of us had raced through and gotten a shitload of credits and bought the vehicles anyway. We ground our way to it. So it's like people that just want to shortcut games can pay for it.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, we see that all the time with live service games. I mean, yeah.
Fuck, Ubisoft makes their games super on single player only games. They make them that way where you either gotta spend money or fucking run around and chase fucking lights all over the fucking for resources for fucking a half an hour. They hide this shit. I've chased a little gold dot around for fucking 20 minutes. What a waste of my life.
Ubisoft takes it to a whole other level. You can't even play their single-player games offline. They have a DRM set up where it doesn't matter. They put the whole game on the disc, but they still will not let you play it offline, so you always stay connected to that fucking store. But, David, anything else you want to talk about Microsoft? I know you said a lot on Saturday, but anything else you want to say before I finish it off with one question to you guys?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, so real quick, before we finish it off, we've been going now for 2 hours, and that is, how many people know who Chris Stockman is? Chris Stockman. I don't expect nobody to know.
Baxter Stockman is.
So Chris Stockman is involved with Saints Row. The very first Saints Row, he was part of that team that helped create that game. Well, just recently, he was asked to come up with a pitch for a new Saints Row game. And my question to you guys is Saints Row completely dead, or is there an opportunity for them to go back to the glory days?
I don't know. Does Embracer on them?
No, remember, they...
Then they have a chance.
Well, it wasn't Embracer who made the decisions. It was that last studio out of Chicago that, I forget the fucking name of it. But either way.
I would go as far as to say there's an opportunity, provided they don't try and smash it out against something similar like they did the last 2 times they tried to put that game of it out. But they need to not make it silly.
Yeah.
It needs to not be full of that comic bullshit that was there last time. Like, make it fun, but don't make it cringy.
Yeah. Well, the last one was really bad. I mean, it came out right in the middle of the culture wars. They try to pick a side and write it that way, acting like that side buys games when they don't, and they really, really fell on their faces. I mean, I ended up buying a copy of that game for like $7, brand new, and I still haven't even fucking played more than an hour of it. It's just complete dog shit. But Thrifty, if they came out with a new Saints Row and it took it back to the glory days, would it be something you're interested in?
I always saw Saints Row as a GTA knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
And not a good one. I'd rather play Scarface. Bring back Scarface.
And not a good one. Yeah, or bring back Godfather. Not the second one, the first one. That was a fucking awesome game.
I preferred Scarface to GTA 3. I'm not alone either. Doom's not here, but Doom would say the same thing.
Yeah, like... Saints Row has never been my thing. I wasn't hyped when they did the last game. I thought it was hilarious that it fell flat on its face. Like, I just don't give a rat's ass.
Don't care. Yeah, I mean, neither. I've never been a fan. I mean, the only thing that I cared about Saints Row was nothing, actually. Oh, the gang war stuff. That's the only thing that I like. But then Grand Theft Auto did it with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which was well done. Outside of that, I don't have anything else for you guys today, except, David, what games are you looking forward to that are coming out in the near future?
Oh, good question.
I don't even know. I feel like there's so many that came out already.
There's a few JRPGs that are coming out. I'm also looking forward to seeing what Where Winds Meet looks like. A couple of those Chinese ones look really cool. Actually, what was the other one that was popping up on my...
Phantom fucking Blade!
Yeah.
Man, when's that going to come out?
We'll get a release date one day. what was that?
Well,
other
they
one?
just announced it way too soon. They're like, "Oh, we're a year in." I'm like, "Why are you telling me then?"
That's
Well,
true.
look how good it looked when they showed it to us last time with actual gameplay, and then they said, "Oh, we still haven't figured out a release date." I'm like, "What's the problem?
Yeah.
It looks better than most of the shit that's been polished."
Exactly.
Just take the win, take the easy win. Don't go for perfection. Just kick it out now and take the cash.
Facts.
There's one of the trials it's one of the trials games that's coming out soon. New Horizons or New Day or
Trails
something.
Beyond the Horizon.
Or you talking about?
That's it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Trails versus Eves or some shit.
No, it's not that one. So there's a few JRPGs that are coming. I'm looking forward to. But it's mostly just the next few coming out of that the China Hero Project stuff and some of those other ones. Yeah, there's plenty coming. Geez, there's plenty of games coming. But it's just trying to find time to play the buggers.
I'm the same, man. I mean, I bought so many games the last couple months. I'm slowing down. I'm still buying some of the smaller games, 15, $20 that are on sale, but I'm not even looking forward to anything for the rest of the year. Next game I want is Wolverine, really. That's probably the main one. Saros looks good, but
Saros?
I'm not it's gonna be a hard game like Returnal. So I'll play it, but I'm not itching or I'm not like super hyped for that game.
Will I finish it? Probably not, but I'm still gonna get it.
Yeah, I'll
I
play
wanna
it.
play it.
What about you, Thrifty? What
I'm gonna
what
put
games?
a lot of hours in it. Don't know how much progress I'll make, but
Well, you know what? I don't do so bad when I'm playing co-op, which is probably the best thing they've done to Returnal. Co-op, I do pretty
disagree
good.
because like when I was playing co-op on that game, my buddy that was playing with me, Josh, or fucking I was like different Josh, not Ayers. He was like, "Yo, this isn't gonna work if you have to take every fucking heal on the board," and I'm like, "I need it."
Yeah, I don't suck as bad as you.
I feel
I
that
suck.
so much.
He was
In a
like,
very
"I gotta
real
get
way.
one here and there," and I was like, "No."
No, they're mine, asshole. That's what you signed up for when you said,
Yeah,
"Hey,
you
we're
said you were gonna
friends."
carry me. Carry.
That's why he ain't played with you ever since. He's like, fuck that guy.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm decent at Returnal. I'm not. I mean, if I focus, I can get it done by myself.
I
But
get
I
killed
don't want to.
environmental more than anything because I'm like, can I make it through it? Nope.
Yeah. What about you, Thrifty? What games are you looking forward to that are coming out in the near future, or are you kind of like me, where you're like, I don't really give a shit?
No, actually, there are some games coming out in the near future. Cosmic Invasion is coming December 1st. So I am here for that. That's about as near future as I get because I still have Trails in the Sky FC that I probably lack about 20 hours in still, maybe 25. And so I got that. And I have the Battlefield campaign, Battlefield 6 I've been playing. So, like, I'm not really. February is when I start looking again, and that's for Saros. Like, I think February is Saros, if I'm not mistaken, like at the end of February.
Yeah.
And so that's about as close as I get. Trails on the horizon, that's a game I'm not going to touch for a while because I'm just now playing the first one in the entire story. So I want to hold off on grabbing that. But yeah, so not really. I'm probably going to try to play a few games I find on sale, finish up a few things before the end of the year.
That's what I'm going for because I got enough damn games as it is. I'm picking up a couple more during the Black Friday sale, and then I'm going to hibernate for the winter.
That's what you've been saying
Just
all
gonna-
year. Shut the fuck
I know.
up.
Then I buy 10 games.
Exactly. You're fucking
I
lying.
need therapy. I need
Yeah.
many fucking years of therapy.
This motherfucker out here buying more games than me, talking about you're buying too many games. Motherfucker, so are you.
So,
Yeah, and I don't even have time to play them.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Around the corner.
But that's the thing with gaming, right? I mean, this last
I'm
month
like
in
a
October.
chick. I'm like a chick when she sees like a clothing sale. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I need this.
I didn't
you don't
know where
even
you
fit
were
into
going with
that.
that.
Like, who cares? Maybe I'll lose weight someday. No, you won't.
But
Shut
this
the
is
fuck
the
up.
difference between me and Nelson, though. Yes, we buy a lot of games. I'm sure I buy way more than Nelson. But in October, I beat Dying Light the Beast, 50 hours. Silent Hill F, 22 hours for the first playthrough. Battlefield 6, 6 hours. Ghost of Yotei, 70 hours. And Neva for 7 hours. So just in the month of October, I beat 3 huge 50-hour plus games. Then I beat 2 smaller, less than 10-hour games. So yeah, I buy a lot of games, but I'm also playing a lot of games, and not just playing them, I'm beating them as well. So for people that are being judgmental about me buying too many fucking games, like you pay for them, there you go. I beat them as well. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Man, you guys have been fire this show. I
Oh my
appreciate you
God!
guys.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time arcade game.
Nelson will not be here next week or the week after. He's got some, I don't know, hunting or some shit.
I'll be gone. I won't even be home. I won't even have service, so you won't hear from me very often.
So he'll be
If it
doing
does,
that.
it means that the moon is just in the right place, and I'm hanging out of a tree probably.
So yeah, he'll be doing that for the next couple weeks. But I'll be here on Sunday nights. I'm gonna have a couple special guests for you guys for both weeks. I'm excited. I don't want to announce them yet. They haven't confirmed yet, because if they can't confirm, then I'm gonna have to get other people, and that's okay too, because I appreciate anybody who comes up in here. But let me give a huge shout out to David. David, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Forky87, and you can find me poking around on a few different people's podcasts when they leave their side gates open.
That's a fact. And David's the side gate is always open for David here. So thank you, David. Then we have Mr. Thrifty here for the first time. Thrifty, let the people know where they can find you.
Man, it's been too long. Thanks for inviting me on. Nelson, thanks for reaching out. Appreciate that. Y'all can find me over on my channel, The Aggressively Average Gamer. I do videos. I do live stream. All of that stuff. I have some shorts over there. Go check that out. And yeah, man, just thanks for having me on. I really appreciated it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for those of you guys who don't know, I'm on Thrifty's podcast once a month. Roughly.
Every third Wednesday of the month.
Yeah, there you go. I don't even remember. I just know I get a message like, you go for tonight? I'm like, oh, yeah. So you can come check me out over there. And then, of course, Mr. Nelson Gaming Culture. Go follow him on YouTube. He's been a little bit more active lately, doing some unboxings, some playtime with his kids and stuff like that. So go follow Nelson over at Nelson Gaming Culture. And that is all I got for you guys today. We'll catch you guys the next time. Or we'll catch you guys next week. Keep it gaming.
I sold the truck this weekend too.
Oh, nice.
I've been very busy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Let me get a
brake lines
cut.
went out. I was like, "You're putting that thing on a trailer." I sold it to my supervisor.
Let me get some money then, since you're out here fucking selling trucks and shit.
I needed it for deer hunting shit. I just spent it all at Walmart.
Deer hunting? You deer hunt like once a year.
Yeah, I know, but